a little bit about the ex-troops' role in invasion in Sicily, perhaps Corfu, Yugoslavia, remarkable, just all different theaters of World War II.
Yeah, so I tell that story through Anson, the one I talked about earlier, whose dad was killed at Dachau, because he's selected with a couple of other ex-troopers. I'm still not quite sure why they were sent there, because their German language skills wouldn't have mattered as much. But I think that the reason they were sent there was it was before the D-Day landings. And I think that Brian Hilton Jones rightly wanted to prove to the British High Command how capable these guys were. So they sent out 3 to kind of be at the forefront. And so Anson lands, oh my God, like with the land, him and this other guy, Paul Streeton, I write about, land at Sicily on the first sort of amphibious landings of the European continent. And they end up, again, taking charge of their units because of their language skills. It's assumed they're all fluent in Italian, which they quickly learn. And they end up being at the forefront of these units as they move through Italy. As I write about in the book, it's Anson who single-handedly decides to take a boat and go to Corfu and liberate Corfu after these fierce battles that he had been involved with after sort of being in Yugoslavia. They end up being incredibly crucial in all those campaigns. And just to reiterate again, all while hiding who they are, that they're German, that they're Jewish, that they're refugees. And what ends up happening with Anson is he gets injured in one of the battles. He's sent to North Africa to a hospital there to get brain surgery because he has shrapnel in his brain. And the whole time he's there, he's writing letters to Brian Hilton Jones saying, you gotta send me back. I gotta get back. You can't pull me out. And this is a guy who was like very worried as a kid, but he becomes such a warrior. He was so determined to win. Brian Hilton Jones gives in. I mean, normally these guys would be pulled out of the war, but that happens over and over again in the book, that whatever the injury they have, they'll walk away from it to get to keep fighting. And that's what Anson does. So he makes his way through the whole Mediterranean campaign right to the final days of the war, when he ends up being sent to camp to interrogate high-ranking Nazi officials. And it's such an incredible transformation. But that's the other thing they do that I haven't really talked about. It's sort of interesting, like when they're at D-Day in Normandy and making their way through France, by day, they fight as commandos. By night, they go stealthily behind enemy lines to gather intelligence or to capture sold Germans and do interrogations. So by day, they're commandos. By night, they're doing counterintelligence and doing interrogations that end up being really crucial to winning the war.